Hey there, it's Kathy with Be Creative with Kathy, and I have a really special card I think for you today. So yesterday I went for a walk. It was kind of cool and the leaves are starting to changing, and it was a really pretty day, and as I was walking home it reminded me of this Love of Leaves stamp set. So naturally I wanted to dig out my Love of Leaves stamp set, which I haven't used in a while, and make a card. So I thought, okay, I need some inspiration. The best inspiration I could think of was our annual catalog, and sure enough, I turned to page 115. There's the Love of Leaves stamp set, and look right there. Perfect inspiration, so I decided that's fine. Love that card, I'm gonna make that one. But then as I was getting ready to make the card, I noticed, look, that these leaves have, I think they're called veins on them, but yet the stamp set doesn't have the veins like they had in the catalog. And now it does have a coordinating die set that looks like this. It has those inside pieces that do the stitching, just like I used on Friday with the poinsettia, same kind of thing. But that's stitching, and this definitely is in the inking, not in the stitching. So I did a little bit of research and come to find out that's a technique, and I think it's called remove ink with bone folder. No, that can't be right. But anyway, that's what I'm going to show you today, is how to do that technique on this stamp set to make a card. Okay, we are going to use the stamp or the die set. However, we're not going to use the inside. We're just going to use the outside pieces to cut out our leaves. But let me show you that I have a couple cards here, how nice those are. Where did my cards go? I just had them here. Okay, here we go. With that stitching and or with that die. Look, now these are old cards that I have, some of that designer series paper that's retired, but look at the stitching, how pretty that is, especially on those foil pieces when you use that inside piece with the dies, or else the outside when it stitches around. If you cut this part, the outside has the stitching around there, and I think that's why these dies are called the stitch leaves. And like I said, they're back on page 165, and it's a $35 die set that I think you could use again and again and again. And even this piece, the stitching here, is cool. We're going to use that today too. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. That's enough talking. So I'm going to start by cutting some paper. So I'm going to take, now in theirs they use the stencils and some blender brushes, but I'm going to just use some designer series paper. Now this is the 6x6 Regal collection, and I'm going to just find a piece there that is crushed curry. I have a few of them left. Here we go. We'll just use that piece right there. That looks pretty. We need to cut that down to size, so I'm going to bring in my paper trimmer, and I'm going to first cut it. Let's see what the other side looks like. No, I wouldn't use this side. So I'm going to first cut it at 3 3/4. And then at 5. Okay, now we don't need this piece. This piece I'll set aside, throw it away. I'm not sure what I'll do with that yet. This is going to be the front. And then this piece here, I'm going to go ahead right now while I'm thinking of it, because if I wait till the end of the video, I'm bound to forget. And I'm just going to cover the flap of my envelope. So a little bit of adhesive here. I'm going to make sure I get the edges good, so as it goes through the mail, it won't come off. I think I missed this corner. Whoop. And just lay that along that fold. There we go. And now my envelope is going to be really pretty in the mail. Kind of give them a glimpse of what's going to be inside the envelope. And I'm just going to cut that excess away. And now there's not going to be any waste with my 6x6 paper. My envelope is just beautiful. Let's make the card. Okay, so some other pieces I have here. Now, and if I don't say all the measurements, you can always find them on my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. This is crushed curry. It's just your normal card base, 8.5 by 5.5, and I scored it here at 4 1/4. So I have just a card base here, simple. I have a piece of the cinnamon cider, which is in color, It's a really pretty color. I'll be honest with you, I don't use it very often, and I'm not sure why, because I do think it's really pretty, but I'm using it today. So I'm going to layer my Designer Series paper right there on top. So this is a layer 5 1/4 by 4. That's what the cinnamon cider measurement is. Lay that there, and then go ahead and just put this right on top of my card base. And there we go. So I'll set that aside. Let's do some stamping. This is just a scrap of Whisper White. Nope, it's called Basic White now. And it's, well, it's the same size, I think, as the inside. So this is 5 1/4 by 4, but I'm going to just stamp on here. I'm going to use Crushed Curry, Soft Succulent, and that Cinnamon Cider ink. I'm going to start with the biggest leaf, and that is the Soft Succulent. And I'm going to make sure that I have a paper towel on hand too. So I'm going to ink up the leaf here. And my stamp set is a little stained, so it might not look green, but there's definitely green ink. Whoop, let me get the corner clean off here. And then with my bone folder, I'm going to just kind of draw those veins on my stamp. And you can kind of see with the ink as you draw them, but then when you turn the stamp over, I don't know if you can see it, but you can totally see now. And if you're happy with what they look like, then you go ahead and stamp. Oop, wait, let me grab my Pierce mat, because this is a nice solid stamp. I want a good image. Lay my cardstock on there, and I'm going to just stamp it down. Let that ink sink into the paper. And then look how pretty you have those vein marks on your leaf. And then while we're stamping, I'm going to go ahead and do the inside of my card with that same leaf, and quickly wipe that ink off my bone folder and do the same thing again. Now, if I wasn't happy with the veins that I drew, I would just ink it up again. It would erase everything, and I could start over. But I think it turned out okay. I don't think they have to be perfect. Let me find a scrap paper to put under, because I'm going to go off the paper a little bit with the stem here. I'm going to just set him just like that. So there he is again. In fact, I think I like this one better than this one, but when it's all said and done, it won't even make a difference. We won't see the difference. Okay, let's go to a different color. So now I'm going to bring in that Crushed Curry. Wipe the ink off my bone folder again. I guess we're going to start with the inside, since that's what's cardstock's on in my foam mat here. Again, I'm going to draw those, and you'll have to let me know. I think they're called veins. Is that what the marks on a leaf are called? Let's see how I like it. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. I'm going to just stamp it right here. No, in fact, I'm going to go like this and stamp that down there. Look how pretty that is. Let's do it one more time. I'm going to clean my bone folder and do that one more time for the front of the card. And now this time I'm going to make sure I stamp it far enough away that I can lay my die on top of there and it won't interfere with this leaf. Yeah, look how pretty that one is. Okay, last one. This one we're going to use a little bit of that cinnamon cider with this leaf. Oh, wait, I got something on my... There, get that off. Ink that up good. Clean my bone folder, make sure I don't have any ink on there. And then run this one. Same way. Let's check him out. Yeah, I think he looks okay. I'm going to go ahead on the inside and just stamp him down right there. Look how pretty that is. And now let's do one on here. I think this is a really cool technique that you could use with lots of stuff. So I'll have to find some more things that I can, let's see. Yep, that looks pretty good. We'll go ahead and stamp him right here. There we go. And then while I have my cinnamon cider ink out, and I just have a scrap here of that crushed curry, I'm going to go ahead and take those words that say, I thought of you today. And now this is another thing. I love the font of this stamp set. I have to practice once real quick and make sure. Yep, looks pretty good. But I'm going to ink that up and just stamp that down here on the corner of that scrap. And you know what? No, not happy. Let's do it one more time. I have to stop talking while I stamp. I can't stamp and talk at the same time. Is that sad or what? There, I think that's better. But anyway, I'm gonna just, well, now I lost my train of thought. I'm gonna stamp that down. Then I'm gonna go ahead and just bring in my paper trimmer, and I'm gonna trim that down to the size so then it's nice and centered for a little sentiment of my card. Just take it here, trim it here. I love our paper trimmer. I think it's really user-friendly. And look how cute and quick I just cut that down. And now I have a nice little greeting for the front of my card. Okay, I think we have all of our pieces now. Whoop, let's go ahead and bring in the die cut machine. And those dies again. I have my base plate, no platform, number 1. I'm going to put my plate number 2 down, and then my really chewed up number 3 that goes on the bottom. Put my paper on there. I have a little bit of washi tape. And now with those dies, I'm going to cut those out. Oh, and you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to do the embossing on my designer series paper, and I've already attached it to my card. So we'll have to see if I want to just leave that off or if I want to emboss the whole thing, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. In just a second, let me get my leaves cut out. And there's 2 of this one. This is the wrong way, going the wrong way. We got to make sure you get the one going the right way, because there's 2 stamps of the same leaf, one going one way and one going the other. And you know what? I think I'm going to try to skip the washi tape. I'll probably be sorry, and see if I can't just, you know, I moved it already. Oop. I'm going to try anyway. I'm going to set that there. Bring in the embossing machine, die cut and emboss machine. Now this is the standard embossing machine. It's on my online store or in our catalog. It's $120. I think it's well worth every penny. But if you're not sure, if you're ready to make that kind of purchase, we also have a mini embossing machine, which is only $60. And you could try that one out, see if you like it before you invest in a big one. But trust me, okay, I give up. I have to use the washi tape. I think the die cut machine is the best thing since sliced bread. I love the die cut machine. There's so many different things you can do with it. It's just a great tool to have with your stamp supplies. Okay, set that. We're going to tape those down so they don't move anymore. We won't have any problems with them. This one right there. Right there. Okay, now it's not going to move when I go to put it in the machine. Just put the plate on top, run it through like that. There we go. And now we have our pretty little leaves. Okay. So then I also have here a piece of basic white that is just a 3-inch square. And I have a piece of soft succulent that is 3 1/8 inch square. And we're going to layer those 2 together with the itty bitty border. Try to get it on there straight. I'm going to put some dimensionals on the back of that. Oh, no, wait. Before we do that, though, let me go back to this piece. Because if you see on this one, I used that big die and did that stitching along the bottom. And I really like that. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now with this one, even though I've already put it on my card. Because last time I did it before, and this time I totally forgot. But I think it's going to turn out just fine. I'm going to lay this open. Grab that great big die here. Just going to add that little extra character to my card. Yep, it's going to be fine. Let's see if it goes all through. Oh my, that's a lot of pieces. Maybe that wasn't the best idea. That was tough to get through the machine, I'll be honest with you. Okay, let's see what it looks like now. Oh, but look how pretty that is. Nice and stitched. And it didn't hurt anything. Everything's fine. I have a little bit more muscle in my arm from running that through the machine. There we go. Now let's take this with some dimensionals. And toward the top center, I'm going to just lay this right there. You still see all the stitching, it's still pretty. And then with some dimensionals on the back of these two, I'm going to add my leaf here to my square. I'm going to put down my big leaf to where it's kind of in the center up here and in the corner down here, so it looks about like that. Then I'm going to just take this leaf, get those dimensionals off, and set that up here like that. And then actually I'm going to see where this goes. I'm going to put a dimensional right here actually on my card like that, and maybe a little bit of adhesive down here, and add that last leaf so he's stuck down like that. And there you go. Now they're all the same level. Look how pretty they are with those veins in there. Now we just need to add a little bow and our greeting. Let's put our greeting on first. I'm going to take our greeting, I'm going to add a dimensional just to the one side here. Put a little bit of adhesive on this side. And then I'm going to slide this over as far as I can so that dimensional there on that side. Looks like that. That's pretty. Now on this card, I used our baker's twine for the bow, but I like this linen thread. I think the baker twine's a little bit soft, and I want something a little bit I don't know, different. So I'm going to take my linen thread here and fold it in half and then trim that. And then I'm going to tie just a double bow here. Maybe I am. Looks like I'm all fingers today. Happy Monday. Make sure I keep this one so I know that this is the tail and not the loop. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and cut that so that I don't get it confused with the loop of my bow. Smaller on this side. There we go, and then pull that tight. Let's cut our tails the same size. There we go. A nice little double bow there, and then just with a simple glue dot, I'm going to take and put that knot. Let me get these two separate a little bit. There we go. Right on the tails of my leaf, so it looks like that. And look how pretty. I think I'm going to send this to my mom. My mom doesn't get out much anymore, and I try to send her a card, and this I thought of you today is just perfect for her. So I think she'll enjoy getting my card in the mail. I'll take that inside and just lay it right there. Look how pretty it turned out. I'm really happy with that. And there you go. So there's my cards. So you'll have to let me know if you give the vein idea a try. And I guess if they are veins, I'm still not sure on that one either. All right, if you have any questions, be sure and leave a comment. If you need the measurements, be sure and visit my blog, becreativewithkathy.com. And if there's any supplies you like, you can visit my online store, and I'll put the link in the description. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here Friday for another Christmas idea. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.